It was just a week ago that Donald Trump held a disastrous press conference at his Mar-a-Lago estate. The press conference was full of lies and widely panned by news organizations. And the biggest piece of news to come out of it was that Trump was capitulating and would debate Kamala on her terms. And now, Trump has decided he wants a repeat of that public flogging, and he held a press conference at his BEDMINSTER estate in New Jersey. And while he repeated his performance of lies at this press conference, he actually made a point that gives a huge boost to Kamala Harris's campaign and completely undermines Trump's. This might be the moment that spells disaster for Donald Trump. Let's jump right to it and take a look at some highlights from the press conference. As I stated, this was supposed to be a press conference about the economy. And Donald Trump started it off with a strange comment about migrants taking people's jobs. Watch this.
Virtually 100% of the net job creation in the last year has gone to migrants. You know that? Most of the job creation has gone to migrants. In fact, I've heard that substantially more than beyond the number of 100%. It's a much higher number than that, but the government hasn't caught up with that yet, but virtually.
Donald Trump's point about migrants taking more than 100% of new jobs created just makes no sense. And it's got everybody on the internet wondering, what kind of math is this guy using? That being said, it's just not true that migrants are taking all these jobs. The Biden administration has seen the creation of more than 5 million jobs from pre-pandemic levels. I'm talking February 2020. That's how successful this administration has been with the economy. According to Bobby Kogan, Senior Director of Federal Budget Policy for American Progress and a former staff member of the Biden administration, it is flatly untrue that foreign workers are taking jobs from native-born workers. The ratio of native-born U.S. citizens aged 25 to 54 who are employed is higher than before the pandemic. One of Donald Trump's favorite talking points is to say that the economy is going to crash, and specifically the stock market is going to see a gigantic drop if he does not win the presidency.
We're going to have a crash, and we're going to have a crash like a 1929 crash if she gets in. You saw a gentleman yesterday who got up, one of the top analysts in the world, frankly, and said that if Trump isn't elected, he predicts, and he's predicting you have a stock market crash like 1929.
Obviously, it's a ridiculous thing for Donald Trump to say because the stock market has been hitting record after record under the Biden administration. But my favorite part about that clip was Fox News showing that the Dow Jones was currently up over 500 points in the lower right-hand corner, while Donald Trump was making these doom and gloom comments about the stock market. And it seems like Fox News caught on pretty quickly that their graphic with good news about the stock market was going against what Donald Trump was saying, and so within minutes, they removed the graphic about the Dow Jones. Then Trump went into an incoherent, rambling monologue about the supply chain, claiming he's been waiting months for the delivery of some things. I don't know what the heck he's talking about. Maybe you can figure it out.
We're going to bring back our supply chains to stop costly supply chain disruptions. We have tremendous disruptions. I have it all the time, and I think you do too. We order things, and I keep saying, well, when's it getting here? Sir, there's a supply chain disruption. And I mean, you end up getting stuff like 3 months late now. I don't know, all these geniuses over here, I think we can say that. I'm not sure that you're necessarily as much into it, but they are. And I will say that very often, we have problems with supply chains where I'm waiting for things for weeks and weeks, and I say, by the way, whatever happened to it? Supply chain, sir, it's not coming in. And it's a terrible thing. Nobody ever thought a thing like that would happen to our country.
It seems like Donald Trump is getting more and more desperate. These press conferences have turned into an opportunity for Donald Trump to try to set a world record for the number of lies said in one sitting. He's saying anything he can to try to win people's votes. He's lying about everything, and he's being called out for it. But the problem for Trump is he just doesn't have the energy on his side. His base is not motivated. He's old news. These off-the-cuff remarks are now getting him into trouble. He was trying to tell people about how far left Kamala is and that she would bring communism to America. And listen to what he said about the healthcare system and how it completely undermines his campaign and gives a huge boost for Kamala Harris. This is the type of comment that Kamala Harris is going to run in her ads all the way through November.
And you're not going to be allowed. You're all going to be thrown into a communist system. It's a communist system. You're going to be thrown into a system where everybody gets health care.
Wow, I cannot imagine a worse fate for the American people than for every single person to have access to health care in this country. What in the world is Donald Trump doing? He's selling Kamala Harris's campaign to America. If that's communism, then sign me up. Donald Trump's campaign is obviously floundering ever since Kamala Harris got into the race. And you can tell that because he's doing these press conferences. He must feel that nobody else can sell his vision to America except him, and he's got to grab the reins and speak directly to the press. The problem for Donald Trump is that his lies are getting old. People aren't digging his shtick. The energy is on our side on the left with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Kamala smells blood in the water, and that's why she's been holding these giant rallies in order to show up Donald Trump, because he can't get these numbers into a stadium like he used to. And now Donald Trump is proving that even these press conferences are unable to get the results that he desires. It is a real treat watching Donald Trump's campaign implode, and I look forward to many, many more press conferences if he's going to continue to say things like Kamala Harris's plan will bring health care to everybody in America.